as a special treat, we have a radio personality here with us, Scott Lee of the Lee Brothers, and he's going to come now and talk to us a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see a good crowd here on a Saturday morning where our motto, sleep is overrated. You know, I get asked to speak at different events from time to time. I was not asked to speak at this one. I volunteered for it. And I found out that Sean was running for this position. I think if you remember correctly, I said I'd love to come speak at that because I believe in who Sean is and what Sean's doing. And perhaps you, as well as I, understand the importance of real statesmen in the job of politics. It's an interesting environment. Typically, you don't find me come praise a politician or look for one to praise. It's much easier to throw rocks at them and to put them in a little box. But we are in desperate need in our country, in our time, in this state, for men who will stand for the cause of freedom and liberty, that will look to expand freedom, not shrink it or repeal it. And so, and that is why I'm here today. It's the virtue of these men who lead us that is so important. Another Virginian, Richard Henry Lee, no relation to Richard Lee, or me by that matter, but maybe longer, I'm not quite sure, maybe it is further out there. Richard Henry Lee said a popular government is based on the virtue of its people. And so when I meet a lot of people, I tend to try to figure out the ones that I would support. And I look at Sean Davis and I see a man that has that virtue, that statesmanship. We say a lot in our program about these two terms, Virginia citizens and American patriots, and I often think of men like Sean, someone who understands that being a Virginia citizen is in the mold of a Jefferson and Madison and Henry. We remember those names, right? I mean, Henry wasn't born too far from here. In fact, this is the Henry District, isn't it? Is that why? Okay, fair. So I think Sean understands those founding principles. And then you get to an American citizen, he understands that, you know, it is those principles that made America great. And so if it means anything to have a guy that blabbers on the radio on WRVA say anything in regards to Sean, and it's not to hurt him, it's to help him, is that I will do it now, is that is endorse Sean Davis for this job. I think, and of course we're going to, as we get closer to the race, you can count on 50,000 watts saying the same thing. We're going to be doing what we can to make sure Sean gets elected to this position. When we look for men to lead us, we look for this virtue, this courage, this ability to stand up for these great characters and first principles of our country. And that begins locally. A lot of times we look to D.C. and we think, let's start there. It's not. It starts here locally and what can impact us, including at the Board of Supervisors. So I think all of you who are in this district will be greatly served by having Sean Davis as the next Board of Supervisors member from Henry County. So let me welcome him now with that.
You're a good friend. You're a good friend. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. You can pay guys on the radio to say just about anything, and they'll do that. So I'm honored and I'm thankful. Scott's a man with certainly conservative values, but he's an individual that I've always held in high regard. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being here. I know brevity is certainly the key, and I think I should be done within an hour or so just to get my point across. I thank y'all for being here. I know you're not here just for me. I know you're here because you're citizens of Hanover County, and I appreciate that. I'm honored to have you here. I would want to thank everybody by name, but we would be here for a while. I'd like to thank those who aren't here, who are at the basketball games, who are over at Atlee Little League and Mechanicsville Little League, lining the fields right now. You know, Hanover is not defined by lines on a map. It's not defined by what type of soil we have. Although I do think for growing tomatoes, this is probably the best place that you can come. But it's people. It's the people that this morning are with their children as they're getting up, as they're heading out to do their activities. It's with the men and women who are heading to local businesses right now in our county to serve and support our citizens. It's our fire department, our deputies, our teachers, those who care, and they don't do it for a job or a vocation. They do it because they're Hanoverians. And that's what makes Hanover Hanover. We're unique people. We're very unique people. We have an exceptional county, and the reason is not because of where we stand, not because of the dirt that we stand on, but it's because of the people. And I can tell you it's with a great deal of humbleness that I've thrown my hat in the ring to be your next supervisor. And I'm very proud and honored to be able to do that and announce that today. Thank you. You know, there is something about this spot right here that is very special. A young mother brought her son here right through those doors there. And she brought him here for two reasons. One, to hear the word of the Lord, to know the truth. And number two, so he could hear the words of freedom. And I tell you right now, at this very spot, make no mistake about it, our country was born right where you stand here. A young man had the seed of freedom planted in his heart. And now we all live under that tree of freedom. And I know I'm proud and honored to run for the office in Henry District, named after our first governor, and a young boy who took that message and carried it throughout the world. I'm going to ask that you come alongside me through this journey, and make no mistake, I'm a fierce supporter and very loyal of those that I represent, and I promise you that. But I ask that we stand together as each and every one of us move this fabulous county to our brighter days, because our future is bright and full of hope. I know now that there are families out there. We've gone through some tough times. Folks, Hanover County is used to tough times, and we're used to coming through. We have tenacity and we have perseverance. And the same is true today as it was in those days. So I ask that you do step along beside me as I stand beside you as we move forward to our best and most brightest days. May God bless you. May God continue to bless our county. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.